this one. For September 4, 2013 at 6 o'clock. First item of business tonight is a pledge of the flag. Director Wood, since you were the latest one to arrive, will have you lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Director. Ladies and gentlemen, we are called in session this evening as a special meeting. This meeting is being videotaped and will be aired on Channel 14, the local government affairs channel, on Saturday, September 7th at 4 p.m. and on Monday, September 9th at 3 p.m. It will also be webcast at www.sacmetrocable.tv. Now is the time for a public opportunity to discuss matters of public interest within the district's jurisdiction regarding items on the agenda. Madam Clerk, I have no speaker cards.
We do not have any speakers.
Thank you very much. Then we'll move right on to our first action item for the evening. Our first action item is regarding the Urban Search and Rescue USAR props, and I'm not sure. Oh, good evening, Mr. Davis.
Hi.
Assumes you're the one giving the presentation.
Yes.
Thank you.
Director Larry Davis, Chief Development Officer. The items that we have in front of you tonight are some issues regarding the Urban Search and Rescue prop project out on the Zinfandel training site. I'll try to walk you through this process. In March of 2013, the California Fire Rescue Training Authority approved a reimbursement agreement for $1.3 million to develop the Urban Search and Rescue training props out on the Zinfandel training site. Subsequent to that, the design team and subject matter experts from the JPA and just experts in urban search and rescue got together and did a design workshop on the props. And as those things tend to do, there was some value-added engineering going into the design, and the design expanded, and the props were enhanced, resulting in some cost increases above the $1.3 million. We also had architectural engineering costs that were impacting the $1.3 million reimbursement agreement. During that same period, we received an opportunity to utilize $350,000 in State Homeland Security Grant Program money. I think you remember that grant that came before the board. Some of our design costs were able to be captured utilizing that $350,000. Not all of it went to this, but some of it did. So the price adjusted again, and then we put the project out to bid, and on August 14th, we received the final bids, and we got the final number. So at that point, we had a gap of, let me check my notes.
1.4.
Yeah, the $1.4 million. So there was a $1.4 million gap. So we took the item back to the California Fire Rescue Training Authority this morning. The board unanimously voted approval of an amendment to the reimbursement agreement. So like I said, that happened this morning. So the item before you now is to accept that reimbursement agreement in the amount of $2,761,608, which will provide sufficient funds to build out and complete the project out on Zinfandel Drive.
And Mr. President, I have a point to add at your pleasure.
The chair will entertain Chief Hinkie, not Mr. President.
Okay. First off, board, what I'd like to say is this is 20 years in the making. This project right here was started 20 years ago. So tonight is a big night. I mean, at this point, when you folks, and if you vote to support this, I know Director Gould is on the JPA board this morning, you're going to talk about 20 years of planning that's gone in to build a state-of-the-art urban search and rescue site really in the country. And it's going to be right here on our 53 acres. And this is the kickoff. So, this is a big, big deal. I'm sorry I had to do it at a special meeting, but the synergy is right. Things are moving very, very, very quickly. And, we wanted to make sure that we get this pushed out before the rains start so that we can come up out of the ground, hopefully, and have it done somewhere around February or March of next year, at which point we're hoping that Task Force 7 will be able to host LA County, I believe, or LA City's USAR team, a team from Washington, and the Sacramento Task Force for their massive MOBEX exercise that'll be held at this facility, which would be the first major one. So this is a big deal. It's 20 years in the making. There's nothing like it in the state of California that'll be this modern, nothing with a collapsed building like you see. And I can tell you, I'm just pretty excited and urge your vote of support tonight.
Thank you, Chief. Go ahead.
Well, I'd like to say that I've been in support of this training concept for many, many years and bringing other training facilities up here. Chief knows that. It's an excellent idea. It puts us in a very unique position because of the capabilities of the training complex, et cetera. And I'd like to make a motion that we support this and approve it with one caveat that we do a little more or better public outreach to explain to the public what the plans are for the complex and how it's going to benefit.
Okay, Director Monk, you make a motion. Can we stop the motion without the additional, with the caveats? Because that will put it into the actual motion versus make a motion to approve staff's recommendation, and then that be a side note?
You can do that.
Okay, I have a second. Okay, motion by Director Monk, seconded by Director Pearson. Any other questions? Director Wood, Director Scheidegger? No. Any questions? Mr. Davis, I know that we've had some conversations about the gap, and I know that that's been discussed. It was discussed in the JPA this morning. It sounds to me like, Chief, one of the reasons we're here tonight in special session is exactly as the Chief has described, that we really have an opportunity, if we start turning dirt, to capitalize on some major training that will take place in the coming months, which will help fund some of the monies that are gapped in these two proposals. And so I think it's important for the public to understand that we're here tonight in special meeting so that we can expedite the process to take advantage of training that's in the future, which pays for some of the cost of this project. Is that
Yeah, I would clarify that it doesn't pay for the cost of the project. The project is all funded through Homeland Security grants that have come through, so it's all grant money that came from Washington, D.C.
Okay.
through CalEMA, as well as the legislature has set aside money for exactly this purpose over the last, how many years, Larry?
Since
Several.
1997. They've been doing
Okay,
it since
and so
1997.
the money is there, it'll be grant funds, but what it'll do is get the project up and out of the ground and completed for this major exercise, and that would be accurate.
Right. Okay, I have a first and a second. Any other questions for Mr. Davis? Clerk, please call the roll.
Yeah, this motion is for 1A, correct?
1A.
Okay. Directors Monk,
Aye.
Wood,
Aye.
Scheidegger,
Aye.
Chair Gould,
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Motion passes with Orzali, Clark, Jones, and Kelly absent.
Thank you. Mr. Davis, I believe you're up for 1B.
Okay. This item is a follow-on item to that. This is the, as I said, we went out to bid. We did a competitive bid, and we opened bids on August 14th. This is the award of that project to the contractor so they can move forward. And it's in the amount of $2,775,024. And this is the point is a $33,000 difference was captured in that $350,000 grant. So that's not confusing. So that's why there's a difference between the project award number is 2.775 and the reimbursement agreement was for 2.761. The difference is the grant
The
funds
350.
that we received in the middle of this process reduced our design costs down. And so we're awarding a bid for 2.775, but we only really have 2.761 outstanding. Just the order that this
Right.
came down.
Sure.
Chair,
Yes, sir.
make motion
Director
that we
Pearson.
approve that recommendation. 1B.
Okay, we have a motion by Director Pearson, a second by Director Scheidegger. Any questions for Mr. Davis? In addition to the last resolution being exciting, this also is equally as exciting as we now spend the money that we've just approved and get these contractors out digging that dirt. So I think this one is equally as important to that 20-year vision that the chief alluded to. Any other questions? Madam Clerk, Director Woods.
When will that construction start, assuming this is approved?
As soon as possible. The only thing that's outstanding is we have a environmental historic preservation document that's pending at FEMA because of the grant funding. And it's been in for a couple of weeks, and we are shepherding it through the process. The moment we have that EHP completed and approved, we'll be able to start construction. So we're talking 2-3 weeks.
Outstanding. Thank you.
You alluded to this morning on the phone was that.
Yeah, the
getting-
Yeah, the EHP, and that's a formality that we have to have in place in order to be eligible for grant funding. What will happen is Roebling, no different than what happened, they'll end up before that probably gets approved, at least moving their trailers and doing some fencing and stuff like that that doesn't violate that. So they'll be ready to rip when they're ready to go. And Larry and I, as Director Gould just mentioned, brought that to CalEMA, or Office of Emergency Services, attention today, and they're working on it because they can make a lot bigger difference than we can in DC to get it moved up.
Thank you, Chief. We have a motion on the floor in a second. Any other questions? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Directors Monk,
Aye.
Wood,
Aye.
Scheidegger,
Aye.
Chair Gould,
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Motion passes with Directors Orzali, Clark, Jones, and Kelly absent.
Okay.
Can I make
Mr.
one
Davis,
follow-up
congratulations. Thank you for all your hard work. I know that this culminates many, many decades of vision, and it's going to be exciting to see this happen in February or March when we get some people and do that excellent training. It'll be nice to be the center of that. So thank you for all your hard work and getting this here tonight and done. So I appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
Any other comments from members of the board?
I'd just like to make one comment.
Sure, you bet.
I'd just like to thank the board, both the JPA board and this board, for being so willing to come in on special session and to put us in a position where we can take advantage of these opportunities for grant funding coming in with 2 days suspended, and we feel confident enough to take it and that we can assemble this project. We literally built this project as things occurred over time. And I can tell you, we're the envy of our partners to have this ability to be so nimble and flexible, and staff has confidence that we'll be supported. So I just wanted to thank you for your continuing support of all of our projects and your willingness to be so flexible. So thank you.
Anytime you have free money for me, I'll come in.
Thank you.
Anytime.
That's
Not-
probably the
not a
last time
problem.
you'll hear Jack Scheidegger be called nimble.
Oh,
Huh? Wait a minute. All right, this meeting stands adjourned.